All right. Good morning, everybody. It is Thursday morning, a little after 9 o'clock. Man, I'm excited to go over this topic with you today. It's something certainly near and dear to my heart, and man, I got definitely have some opinions. I think we all have opinions on sales tactics, techniques, and certainly on this topic. Today, we're going to talk about sales training, and we our poll this week uh, was was really, I mean, it's kind of kind of surprising. And let me share my screen here. Let's go over. And so the question this week was, which sales training method do you find most effective? Role playing, on the job coaching, online courses, or workshops and seminars? And man, as you can see, the overwhelming result here, 64% for on the job coaching and zero for online courses and workshops and seminars. And man, we still got an hour left. We got 11 votes on this thing. It's I'm surprised there's zero for online courses and workshops and seminars in the digital age of courses right now, right? Man, there's courses for everything. I have courses. I have online courses. Excuse me. And I think our online courses are pretty awesome, pretty amazing. And so to see zero on here, it's like, what the heck is going on? I am not surprised that on the job coaching is number one, though. It's so profound, um, so helpful, right? To have somebody shadowing you and not just to watch you or to do it for you or right, but to demonstrate and help you and break it down after the call. Whatever it is, on the job training. If you have somebody to walk beside you and uh, again demonstrate, look, this is how we're doing it. These are the best practices. Now, you go and try it, right? And then evaluate after you tried it, what worked, what didn't, where, you know, what, what you did well, right? And how do we improve? So, first off, if you don't know me yet, thanks for stopping in here. My name's Robert Towner, and founder over here at Accelerate Sales, and I am super passionate about sales and leadership training and development. That's the whole foundation of what we do here at Accelerate is teach, train, coach, mentor, foundational sales practices to truly, sorry about my dogs, they are animals. I don't know if you can hear them or not, but I'm working from home again today, and they're in the background. So it is, just part of life, right? Not to shift topics too much, and let me put them outside. Girls, outside, go on, outside. Okay, got rid of the beast. Oh man, I don't think this would be acceptable before COVID. So I am glad some positive things come out of COVID, and it's called work from home, and we have normal distractions in our life, and nothing's ever perfect. Me as a recovering perfectionist, man, learning to just accept things as they are sometimes can be a little difficult. But I am learning to embrace life's flaws, my own flaws and imperfections, and I mean, this is part of it. I got crazy beasts barking around and frolicking in the background, and can be a little distracting. So let's get back on topic though. Sales training and coaching. I have some notes here today that I'm gonna kind of go along and share with you. Let me get my uh, browser back over here. So, one of the things when I think about online training versus in-person training, we do both, and I think there's really no substitute for in in-person on-the-job coaching and training. The importance of effective sales training, um, man, the right training method really can significantly boost your sales performance. And what's right for one person isn't always right for the next. So even though there's 67, 64% of you are looking at on the job training coaching, right? Maybe somebody else, their sweet spot for training is online courses. They just didn't see the poll and chime in, right? But or maybe somebody else really learns well with the workshops and seminars. And understanding from a sales leader, from a sales manager perspective, understanding your team and knowing which methods are best for your team overall, which methods are best for your individual contributors, performers, and focusing on those key areas for the group and for the individuals. Um, Things are changing constantly, all the time, right? And especially with the digital age and AI. And one of the things that when I think about online or on the job coaching and things that we can really embrace and get really involved with for sales is using AI as a tool for on the job coaching and training. And there's some amazing technologies out there that you can really program or have somebody do it for you, right? Program ChatGPT to have really strong articulate conversations with your sales rep to train through your sales process. That's not the topic for today, but something definitely we'll attack here in the future and on another at another time. But getting back to on the job coaching and role playing scenarios, the two big hitters here for today's poll. Um, I'm a huge fan of both. I am really a huge fan of role playing. Something I learned early on in my career and was taught by Ed Camp, and I wish I could find Ed and follow up with him. It's been, gosh, 25 years at least. Yeah, 25 years since I worked for Ed, and he really taught me the value of role playing and on the job training and coaching by really being not only a great leader and a great influencer to me, but he was also a great student of sales, a great student of the industry and the business. And I thought, man, he just made such an impact on me that I don't think I would be in sales 25 years later if it wasn't for my first manager, Ed. And he took the time to really go through role playing with me and teach me, you know, side by side, right? Walking through the sales process and coaching me on things that I did well, coaching me on things that I definitely needed to improve on, and really being present and involved in that learning process. I see, unfortunately, there's so many companies out there that don't have the systems in place or the processes or the staffing available to really uh, be present and involved with all of the new sales reps, and I find a lot of turnover in those situations where you got guys and gals coming in with a lot of potential and not making it because they don't have the support and coaching and mentorship that they need. And it's man, it's not always the fault or the blame of the company, um, as a whole, or even individuals. Sometimes we're just not equipped yet or set up yet, don't have the budget yet to implement some of these things. So I think, definitely, that's where, finding third party companies to, outside entities to come in and really help with that. So, I mean, that's what we do, right? We're going to come in and help with that, help develop those processes, help develop those systems. We're going to, be that coach for your team, for your individuals. And that's, if I got anything out of this poll, man, really got to focus more, for our own teams, and making sure that we have the resources available to really truly empower our teams, our producers, contributors, right? So that they have the tools necessary so that they can they can really excel. Um, when Man, let's talk about role playing. Okay, I'm gonna get back on track here. Let me go through my notes because I got some notes here that I want to hit on. Um, and role playing. Um, what is role playing, right? I mean, we hear that word. Sometimes we're scared of it. We're like, man, I don't want to role play. It's awkward. It's crazy. It feels weird. But man, isn't role playing like, let's use sports for example. You got football, right? Does the team just practice offense at every practice, or do they role play, right? Do they get the defense on there and on the same team on practice, right? You got offense practicing against defense. They're role playing, right? Isn't that all role playing is practicing in a simulated environment with that mimics real life situations, right? So so what are we afraid of with role playing in sales? Um, it's it's awkward, sure. It we get a good laugh about it. We feel uncomfortable, but isn't that the time to practice and be uncomfortable? Is when you have the secure, safe environment of your team, and not in front of your prospects and your clients, your customers, where you're practicing what you're going to say and do in front of them. Man, that is not the time to be practicing, right? If you want to, blow out, 50 possible leads in record time, then definitely go practice your sales script. Go practice your sales call on them, and see what happens. Right? You're gonna blow them out of the water, and you might get lucky, and you might have 1 or 2% of them follow up or go through the sales process. But imagine if you can practice that, get the uncomfortableness out of the way, right? Practice being uncomfortable in a safe environment where if you screw it up because you're going to, that it's okay, right? Because you're with your team, right? And man, that's the best time. So I love role playing. I think it's super effective. I know it's super effective. I don't think it's super effective. It is one of the most effective sales training methods, and I think it's one of the least utilized. Man, some of the best um, deals I've got and witnessed over the years are the ones that were actively practiced and role played before going into the sales call. And I think about one gentleman several years ago that was calling on. He's a newer sales rep. He's calling on one of the largest accounts that we had seen, and we role played the hell out of that scenario, role played it multiple times, preparing for each meeting, not just role played once and then went to a meeting, but before each meeting, we discussed it, pre-call planning, role played, broke it down, right? What is the desired outcome for this meeting? Because each meeting is going to be different, right? So not just role play the sales talk, but role play the meeting as a whole and do your pre-call planning, do your after call review, right? And do those things with a coach, with a manager, with somebody that knows what they're doing, that can truly help you and serve you and guide you through that process. Man, on the job coaching, role playing together, you're unstoppable. Um, it's Gosh, so key to success. Let's see what are some of the benefits. Enhances communication and negotiation skills. Absolutely, absolutely. Allows sales reps to practice handling objections and closing techniques. Absolutely, right? When we can, you know what? I'll just put my notes over here on the screen. And let's go ahead and close this down. We don't need to keep seeing that. Yeah, this is good. Okay, so um, what else? Builds confidence in a low risk environment. Man, when I think about the old saying, "Fake it till you make it." I used to say that all the time, and I would share that. Man, just go do it, right? Fake it till you make it. Well, most things, I think I've changed my tune on that. Most things are not just, go fake it and make until you make it. Because you got to study first. You got to figure out what the heck it is. You got to learn the product. You got to learn the service, right? You can't fake those things, but what you can fake is confidence. And when we go out and we're making that initial cold call, we're making that appointment, we're getting ready for this big meeting, for this you know large deal that we've been working on for 3 months. Confidence. We can fake confidence until we believe it. So role playing, not only does it build your confidence in a low risk environment, but by practicing and believing. How do I try and say? Yeah, just fake it till you make it on the confidence. But these things definitely build your confidence up, and you don't have to fake it as much. Best practices: use realistic and varied scenarios relevant to your industry. It doesn't do any good to practice something that's not related to the sales call. I know that sounds like common sense, and it's like, why would I even need to put that in there? But I think it's so important to make sure that the scenario is realistic, and matches what the heck you're doing and what you're selling. But also, just as important is, you can't just do the same thing over and over again. And that's where AI can come in and really make a difference for you. You can plug in a scenario to Chat GPT and have it feedback. It's going to feedback varying scenarios, because it's never the same anyways. So again, we'll get into that in the future, a future call. But right now, let's keep going down the list here. We're gonna cover again the role playing and on the job coaching. But what else on best practices? Incorporate feedback sessions to discuss what went well and areas for improvement. So important. Feedback. You're not going to get better without feedback, right? So we're going to do the role play, then we're going to break it down. We're going to talk about it. Man, what did we do well, and where can we improve? Really important in this one. We're not dissecting this and picking out every little thing that we did wrong, nor are we picking out every little thing that we did well, right? That's going to take forever, and it's going to be very discouraging because there's going to be a hell of a lot more that we did wrong than we did well. So pick one thing on each session. Pick one thing that you did well and one thing that needs improved. Work on those two things, or work on that one thing, celebrate the other, and then do it again, and then do it again, and then do it again. And each time just pick out one good thing and that went well and one area to improve. And then definitely rotate between the salesperson and the customer, and so you can really understand the different perspectives. And if your manager's with you or another sales rep is with you, it doesn't matter, right? If you can learn a lot from a new sales rep, you can learn a lot from a seasoned sales rep, and you can certainly learn a lot from your managers and leaders. But if you're just focused on one side of that conversation and you never practice the other side, you're literally missing out on half of the education there. So put yourself in both shoes and rotate back and forth with your partner. Leveraging role playing. Man, schedule regular role playing sessions as part of your team meetings. Again, the more you can practice, the more you can get involved with your team, the more sessions you have role playing, the better you're going to be. Again, this is the time. This is the time to practice, not when you're in front of your customer. Encourage creativity and explore unconventional solutions. Again, this is the time to really get crazy with this stuff. Have fun with it, right? Don't be tied into this tight little box of we're going to say this and we're going to do this. This is the time to experiment too, right? And explore those unconventional solutions. If you've been doing the same thing for 2 years and you really are seeing kind of a plateau, nothing's really changed in how you're role playing or how you're presenting. Get creative, right? Have a little creativity session before you start role playing, and talk about different ideas, different things that you can implement or try, and get crazy with it and try it. Use recordings. So with I mean, everybody has a camera, right? Everybody's got a cell phone. I don't know anybody that doesn't have a cell phone. Literally, like I can't think of anybody. So use your phone, right? And prop it up, put it on a little tripod. I actually have a little tripod that I keep in my little ditty bag here. That's like you're like, "Oh, you got a tripod in that thing? Boom. Got this little tripod here. This is like $15 on Amazon, and this thing is amazing. It's I don't even know how to open it. It's so amazing. Um, so literally, you just pop this thing open, and let me change my view so you can actually see it. Um, so here's a little tripod for your phone. Your phone just boom goes right in there like that, and now now you can record your session. I mean, it doesn't really take much. You don't need to spend a lot of money. You don't need any fancy gear. Get yourself a $14, $15 tripod. on Amazon, set it up in the office, and record your meetings for sure. Definitely record your role playing sessions, and then review that footage, right? Again, let's go back to sports, baseball, football, soccer, man, basketball. The best of the best sit and watch their recordings over and over and over again. You're going to find, the Jordans, right? The Mannings, right? The best of the best. They focus so much on, and I'm not a huge sports. I really don't know anything about, I don't follow sports. I don't know a ton about sports, but I do know that coaching, training, practice, right? You don't get to that level of the best without some intentionality, and focus and drive. And part of that again is, watching the footage. So record your gameplay, and watch it back, break it down with your boss, with your manager, with your teammates, and you're going to be amazed at the results. Um, on the job coaching. Man, so what is it? I mean, it's kind of self-explanatory, but notes I got here: real-time guidance and mentoring while performing actual sales tasks, right? So on the job coaching, training, um, you can do a lot in the office. You can do a lot before you get out in the field, but there's really no substitute for training and coaching in the field with your prospects, with your clients, with your customers, in person, because that's when the rubber hits the road, right? And when we're nervous or uncomfortable, we revert to um, our comfortability state, right? Where we are comfortable. And sometimes that means, well, almost all the time, that means falling back on stale old practices that don't really serve us. So when we have somebody there with us and they're watching, they're taking notes, mental notes, they're not there to butt in and save us from a bad sale. They're not there to interject or correct us. A really good coach is going to just stand by, watch, take notes, and after the call, immediately step away, debrief, break it down, what went well, what didn't, how can we improve. Now, sometimes it makes sense for the coach to interject and maybe do a slight correction, or steer the conversation back to the right path. But the the ideal scenario is that we are just watching, taking notes, and then we're going to step back, debrief, and break it down. Um, so, what are the benefits for this, right? We're going to provide immediate feedback and corrections right afterwards. It accelerates the learning by applying the concepts directly in the field. And it helps identify and address individual strengths and weaknesses. Man, we all have our superpowers, our innate, born um, superpowers, right? Whatever that is. Maybe it's communication, maybe it's negotiation, maybe it's empathy, maybe it's those are the only three I can think of right off the top of my head. But yeah, we all have our strengths, right? And sometimes a lot of times we don't know what our strengths are because they're natural to us. So I think it's really important that somebody can help us identify those strengths, because then we can really lean into those, and we can capitalize on what we're already doing well, right? And at the same time, it's also really important that we have somebody help us identify the weaknesses, because we don't always know, or maybe certainly we don't want to admit that we have some weaknesses. And having somebody help us define those and dial those in is really key. So huge benefits there. Best practices: pair less experienced reps with seasoned mentors. Absolutely, right? I think, it doesn't really do any good to, well, I know it doesn't, to put two inexperienced reps together to go out and make calls together when they're not able to help each other. And what happens is that we have, one rep trying, to try new things and experiment, or just practice what they're learning, right? And the other rep might have a tendency to want to help and correct, but maybe what they're thinking isn't right for that person, and without the experience behind it, right, to really guide them, we could be doing more damage than good. Not intentionally by any stretch, right? We all want the best for our team, we all want the best for each other, and we want to see each other succeed. But if you don't have the experience coaching and training, then we can accidentally do more harm than good. So definitely get your trusted mentors that have the experience, and pair them up with your newer reps. This is huge. Set clear objectives for the coaching sessions. We don't want to go into the coaching session blind without any direction. And we also don't want to go in there with a laundry list of things to work on. Pick one or two things that you're going to work on, focus on those intently, and be done, right? On the next session, pick one or two things, focus on those, and be done, right? And keep your sessions short, right? 20 minutes or less. If you're in a marathon coaching session for 90 minutes, man, that is taxing, right? Now, training and education is I'm going to put that in a different category than coaching. And yeah, if you're having sales training and it's a half day workshop, heck yeah, man, jump in there, do a half day workshop. But if you're doing coaching on the job, in the field, break it up into smaller chunks, because there's a lot going on there. Our brains burn more calories than the rest of our body when we're under intense pressure and stress. And coaching sessions naturally can be a little bit of pressure and a little bit of stress, right? So keep them short. Use data and metrics to measure improvement. That which gets measured gets improved. I think that's how the quote goes, right? And so, yeah, if we're not tracking it, we're not measuring it, how do we know if we've improved, right? Leveraging on-the-job coaching. Man, create a culture of continuous learning and open communication. I'm going to repeat that again. Create a culture of continuous learning and open communication. One more time. Create a culture of continuous learning and open communication. Whew. Man, again, sounds like common sense. And it is, but it's not always easy. Having a culture of open communication, man, if you got a team that is afraid to speak up, if you have an individual that's afraid to speak up because he or she is fearful of, the feedback, fearful of, how do I say, I'll just say it, of a manager that, shuts them down, that like, hey, that's a stupid idea, right? Who wants to work in that environment, right? Um, so embrace a culture, create the culture of continuous learning and open communication, and you're gonna you'll never look back. Incorporate regular check-ins and performance reviews. Whew. Does anybody like performance reviews? I mean, raise your hand if you like performance reviews. I don't know if I like them, but I need them, right? I need to know what I'm doing well, right? And I need to know even more what areas I can improve on, right? So without regular check-ins and performance reviews, and you can call a performance review whatever you want, right? There's just I put performance review because isn't that what we're doing, right? Again, let's go back to sports. When we review our gameplay, our footage, right? Is aren't we reviewing our performance? Again, when we review our gameplay, aren't we reviewing our performance, right? So why do we think that performance reviews in business and sales and life outside of sports is a bad thing? Man, it's not. It's a good thing. That's how we grow. That's how we learn. That's how we get better. Now, it's got to come from a place of not to get all squishy on you, but it's got to come from a place of love and authenticity, right? And genuine care for your team, for your people, that you want them to grow and get better, not just to lord over them and be like, you suck at this, right? You got to get better at this. And I know that I'm being a little exaggerative, but it's so crucial. So offer incentives for mentors who contribute to the growth of others. Man, I know a couple companies that I can think off the top of my head that they pay their sales reps a stipend, a bonus for taking new reps under their wings. And man, if you got a veteran rep that's doing really well and he loves or she loves training and coaching, man, why not pay them a little extra? I would never ask a rep to go and coach, train, mentor another rep without compensating them in some fashion, right? Because you're asking them to take time away from their territory, away from their clients, which then in turn, excuse me, uh, they're literally losing out or possibly losing out on opportunities to earn an income, right? To earn money. So compensate them for their time away from their territory, from the way they're away from their book of business when they're helping and mentoring, coaching others on your team. And I think you're gonna have a lot more mentors stepping up. You're going to have, seasoned reps that are going to speak up. Hey, I've been thinking about, maybe coaching or training, mentoring. I'd love to, take a look, and talk about an opportunity here in our company and use that uh, opportunity to help your team grow. So that's it today. I really wanted to go over these two role playing scenarios and on the job coaching and kind of break these down for you. The benefits, best practices, and how do we leverage that, right? So I hope you found this helpful. And yeah, I this is this is always fun. And yeah, we'll see you back here next week, Thursday, 9 o'clock. And check out our new polls every Monday. So every Monday we'll have a new poll, and then Thursdays we're going to break it down just like we did today. So thanks everybody. Have an awesome rest of the week and great weekend, and we'll see you next week. Take care.